campaign is, what are we going to do with the annual fund? Critical. All right? So where is the annual fund going to fit while we're ramping up and in a campaign? Most campaigns we're involved with, we would see the annual fund as the third element of the overall comprehensive campaign effort. So the first element would be traditionally capital related projects, building renovations, new athletic center, whatever. Second component should be endowment. The third should be the annual fund. We would advocate in most situations, all right? But here are the options you have. You can drop the annual fund altogether and just abandon it and focus simply on the campaign needs that we have for the next 5 years. That may make sense for some of you, particularly those that don't have an annual fund or one that is not very mature, okay? The second is to absorb it into the annual fund, all right? Just simply weave the dollars in. The third would be not do it but do separate asks. You know, we have an annual fund committee going out and seeing Prospect A. We have the campaign committee seeing them next month. That gets tricky, all right? Our suggestion would be that we roll it in as part of one of the campaign priorities. The money still goes to the annual fund. All right, so in the cases of Arion, $12 million campaign, $5 million went to a new library, $5 million went to endowment, and at the time the school's annual fund was $400,000 a year. 400,000 times 5 years is $2 million. So we had a $12 million campaign, 5 for capital, 5 for endowment, 2 for the annual fund, equally $12 million comprehensive capital campaign. So the beauty is everyone who gave to the annual fund gave to the campaign, because every dollar that came in from the annual fund during those 5 years went towards the $12 million goal. Well, it's the double ask is going out and seeing someone for their campaign gift and their annual fund gift at the same time. So Ted, I'm here to see you today and ask you for would you consider a $100,000 commitment to Hayden High School? Ted, why don't we take $5,000 a year over the next 5 years, and we'll keep the annual fund going that if you make it us the last 7 years. But Ted, would you also consider an additional gift of $75,000 towards the endowment I know you want to build for your mom? So Ted, would you consider a gift of $100,000 for the campaign? So the $25,000 is still protected, right? Because Ted's been given $25,000 a year for the last 5 years. But we also just secured a commitment of Ted of $75,000. But his commitment that we acknowledge and steward is $100,000.
And at the end of the campaign, Ted's going to give us $5,000 or more for his next annual fund gift. We keep it going. We protect the annual fund and grow it. If done right, absolute guarantee your annual fund will grow during a campaign. It will not shrink. We ran into a school that we worked with where they started their campaign. The annual fund was $1.2 million. When they reached year 3 of the annual fund, or the campaign, the annual fund was $650,000. And they have yet to get it back up to $1.2 million. People trade. It was rob Peter to pay Paul. They stopped giving annually, gave to the campaign, and now they're trying to restart them again into the annual fund, and it's not firing. If done well, your annual fund will grow during a campaign.
Because you're doing the double ask, and because you're giving everybody the opportunity to increase their annual fund as part of their campaign commitment. So even the $100 donor who's given you $100 the last 3 years, here's a chance to bump them up to $250 as part of a 3-year commitment they're going to make for $750 to the campaign, with it all going to the annual fund. So that's how you're going to grow the annual, those 2 steps. Don.
We're in the middle of a campaign.